Welcome to this live feed. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How is everybody? Today we are speaking to a very interesting subject matter, as always. Well, I believe so anyway. Failure. Failure plagues our society in so many different ways. How can we shift from a perception of failure that is very negative, that does not serve us, that hinders us, that adds no value to our lives, to a perception or perspective of failure that actually is enlightening and enriching for us? Welcome to everybody that's coming on. I can't see everybody that's coming on. Yanni, I can see you. Awesome. Put a number one in the comment box. Let me know that you're here. Number one in the comment box, and maybe an emoticon or emoticon or whatever you pronounce it, to let me know how you're feeling today as well, because our feeling state will allow us to be receptive, or how receptive we are to the information presented. Natalie, thank you. Yeah, absolutely. It's such a powerful topic to speak to, failure. So let me know that you're here, guys. Number one in the comment box, and that would be wonderful. And yes, awesome. Okay, some people are coming on now. I can see, because I can't see everybody that's on. So one in the comment box, and let me know how you're feeling. Hi, Beck, Linda, awesome. Okay. Vicky, yeah, we're going to speak to that. That's so cool. Yeah, absolutely. We are definitely going to speak to that. So, Ren, how are you? So, coming live from Changi Airport, Singapore Airport. So, I'm on my way back home from an immersive Vera men's tantric retreat, and it was wonderful. And I'll speak to some of those lessons from that, actually, in terms of the deep information. Sam, welcome. Tara, welcome. Some of the deep information imparted and how that was received, but we'll get to that very, very, very soon. So failure in our society generally is not accepted. It's not accepted as something that is positive or something that can actually be helpful to us. In fact, failure is often viewed as something that is a hindrance to our progress or to our evolution. And the view that I take, and the view that many people take, is very different to that. It can be very different. That failure can be of great service to our journey and great service to our path. And Natalie says, I only see different degrees of success or choice to quit, or choices to quit. Yeah, cool. That's Natalie. And we're going to speak to defining success as well, because when we're speaking to failure, we must also speak to a concept or a definition or an understanding of success as well. Yeah. Star, welcome. As you're coming on, people, if you're new, put new in the comment box, and if you're hi Irene, and if you're just coming on, put number one in the comment box so that I know that you're here. And let me know what you also feel about failure as well, and how it's affected you in your life, how it's played out in your life, and how it's impacted your being as well. Because the concept of failure, see, when we have this concept, and when we attach a mental construct and an emotion, Janelle, thank you for being here. When we attach a mental construct and an emotion to a particular concept or way of being or state, that feeling state, those thoughts, they perpetuate and they generally become us, and we become them. So it's so important to identify with very specific concepts in life, especially something as important as failure, because if we think we are a failure in life, or we think that we are perpetually failing in life, we will get more of that, because we will tell ourselves that. We will bring that experience into our lives, because it becomes our dominant thought paradigm or our dominant mindset. And it is just that. It is a dominant thought process. It dominates who we become. So redefining concepts such as failure can really liberate us and allow us to live a fuller life, a more whole life. And we're going to express that. And Irene, absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more. Failure is a learning opportunity. Failure is deep insight into the fullness of our being. Let me say that again. Failure has a capacity to be deeply insightful into the fullness of who we are and into our potentiality, so that we can actualize our potentiality. Failure allows us to actualize our potentiality. Put number two in the comment box if you agree with that. If you can agree with failure allowing us to be better or more evolved or more coherent, more connected versions of self. Put number two in the comment box. And if you don't know how just yet, that's cool. We're going to go through that. Yeah, I'm going to explain how that actually can occur. So we want to redefine failure to serve our growth, to serve our evolution of self, to serve who we are, who we're becoming, how we're moving through the world, and how we treat ourselves internally, so our internal speak and our internal speak with our emotional self as well. Hi Rena, how are you? But also how we treat others in relationship as well. Relationships are an intricate part. If we're part of this world, we are in relationship with the world, with ourselves, with others. If we detach from the world, then we eliminate being in relationship with others. In other words, what I mean by that, an example would be an ascetic example of taking yourself to a mountaintop and meditating for the next 50 years of your existence. But if we are of this world, if we are social, if we are relational, if we are fully engaged and deeply engaged, then relationships play a very pivotal role in our lives and how we think about ourselves, feel about ourselves, our level of experience, well-being, and so forth. So I want to speak to relationships particularly because they play such an important role in our lives on so many different levels, okay? So, first of all, before I get into relationships, how we feel about failure, how we perceive failure will deeply, I have to reiterate this, will deeply influence the way we move through life, the opportunities that are presented to us, and the opportunities that we choose to take in life, yeah? So really begin to understand, begin to connect to that concept of opportunity. Because we can have all the opportunities in the world, but if we don't observe those opportunities for what they fully are, and if we don't recognize them for something or an experience that can actually add value to our lives and to the lives of others, that we can grow from and evolve from, we're going to struggle. We're really going to lose in the game of life, so to speak. Hi Mary, how are you? Number one in the comment box if you're just coming on, people, so I know that you're here as you're coming on. And if you're new in the comment box, so the community, the tribe can welcome you with open arms, and of course as will I. So Irene says it's great to see people fail, get up and try again. Life is a learning process of success and failure. So before we go into relationships, let me define success, or let me redefine success a little bit. Success is true welcome. Success is not just setting an objective mentally or intellectually, emotionally, whatever it may be, and then achieving that objective. That's part of success. Success is engaging in the process. Success is cultivating the courage, okay, bear with me here, this is powerful, cultivating the courage to step into the fullness of who you are, to step into yourself and take action. So the process has deeper value than the outcome. It's like the journey has more value than the end point or the destination. So success is really deeply defined by the process and all the learnings and the teachings that are obtained on that journey, on that path. Give me number 3 in the comment box if you can relate to that. If you can relate to that, the process, the journey has such deep intrinsic value that we can grow from and learn from, put number 3 in the comment box. Now, to elaborate on that, what I mean by that is that when we are open to the journey and to the process being a definition of success, we open our senses up to obtaining the wonderful information that comes through, yeah? So I'll repeat that for you, Churi. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Linda. The journey has deep empowerment, deep properties of empowerment for us. So when we are in that journey, we can identify that the journey or the process has tremendous learning capacity for us to grow, and that we see that all the intricacies on that journey and in that process of engaging, choosing courageously to engage in an experience, allows us to be open from a sensory perspective to everything that's occurring in that space. We are living life. We are living life authentically. We are living life fully. We are engaged and we are bearing the fruits of life, yeah? So for me, success, it's so powerful that we primarily define success by the process, by just even choosing to engage in the process. That courage, having that courage in and of itself is tremendous for our growth. It's tremendous for our healing. It's tremendous for who we are as people, and it's tremendous for our relationships. So let me go into relationships. How many of us have had failed relationships? Give me number 4 in the comment box. If I don't get multitudes of 4s here, I'll be very, very surprised. I need to put a number 4 in the comment box, but I'm not going to put number 4 in the comment box. I'm going to tell you why, but in a moment. But number 4 in the comment box, if you have had multiple or just one failed relationships, yeah, it could be family members, it could be with friends, it could be with intimate partners, it could be with colleagues, it could whatever it may be. It could be relationship to self. You've set yourself to do something or be something, and it hasn't transpired. Thank you for your honesty and vulnerability, Tara. Yeah, number 4, if you've had failed relationships. Yeah, I could put a few of those as well. A few fours back to back to back. Here's the thing, guys. There's no failure, only feedback. I want to repeat that. There is no failure, only feedback in life. There is no failure, only feedback into the essence and the core of our being, and into what interests us, and into what our preferences are, into what our values are, into our purpose, into who we are at our core, our truth. There is no failure, only feedback. Give me number 5 in the comment box if you can resonate deeply with that. There is no fear, there is no failure, there is only feedback. Because fear and failure are intrinsically connected as well, by the way. And we'll go into that potentially later on, maybe not today, but definitely in another live feed. But there is no failure, only feedback. Give me number 5 in the comment box if you can resonate with that. And let me know that you are feeling into that, because that mindset shift, and I'm going to speak to this later on soon, very soon, in the next few minutes, that mindset shift is everything. That perspective switch is everything with respect to how we behave with ourselves and how we behave with others. So we begin to look at our relationships not as failures, but as intricate, profound learning experiences of growth and expansion. True. Potentially the reason why you can't resonate with failure is feedback, is because, and I don't know your personal circumstance, but when we are in the middle of that emotional turmoil or that separation, or feelings of failure around a particular relationship of self or the other, and so forth, it can be very daunting to even be in that space to receive that. So just sit with it. Don't be hard on yourself. Just sit with it. Yeah, that's for everybody out there. So Carol says, "Habit has transformed me and made me a greater version of myself. I'm still self-developing and growing and diving into who I truly am, as am I." As we all are, Carol, I'm sure. Thank you for sharing that. So we think and we feel that we have failed our relationships because our relationships have parted ways, that they haven't quite gone to the idea that we have originally conceived, or how it should have gone from the beginning, or the inception of that relationship. But here's the thing, okay, and this is a very complex, integrated subject. This is a very complex, integrated topic, relationships in and of themselves. Tara says, "I often feel rather than focusing on the outcome of a relationship, we should focus on the quality of the connection to remain present." And absolutely, remaining present is so deeply empowering and so necessary as well. But again, this is a topic that is so multifaceted. It requires an integrated understanding of connection, of present moment awareness, of self-love, of projection, of the way we I suppose emotional intelligence, to sum that up, and a myriad of other factors. But effectively, when we're speaking to relationship and we're speaking to failure, we're coupling those two concepts. There is no failure, because here it is, in that moment, perhaps that relationship didn't go as you had planned, as you had conceived it to go. That doesn't indicate failure. That doesn't mean that you have failed or the other person has failed. It does mean, however, that is an opportunity to grow and learn. And if those actions that you took do not resonate with you at your core, at who you are as a person, your core authentic values, then you have an opportunity to learn and grow from those experiences. So in the next relationship that has a similar dynamic, you don't repeat those same choices. That is growth. That is expansion and transformation. That's transmutation here in this area. In the Anahata chakra, we use it as an energy center, just as an explanation. It's symbolic of who we are as people and how we can behave and be in relationship. So if you can resonate with that, give me number 6 in the comment box. And what I'm asking you to resonate with, or asking you if you do resonate with, is that we can actually use those experiences to make different choices that are in alignment with our core values in our next relational dynamics. That's the number 6 in the comment box. So from that perspective, when we take that long-term view, and I'll speak to this soon, when we take that long-term view of self in relationship, we begin to realize that, guess what? We're not failing, we're not failures. We are learning and growing. But we only learn and grow when the lessons or the teachings from that experience are actually assimilated into our being, and we become a newer, profounder version of self, a transformed version of self, and we don't repeat the same choices over and over again. Otherwise, I suppose from that perspective, it's not that we're failing, but that we are just in repeat. We're just repeating the same version of self that doesn't actually serve our core values. So at the foundation and premise of all this, we have to know who we are. We have to connect to self. So Natalie says, past relationships have taught me what I won't accept in the next relationship. Perfect example. And that non-acceptance, or that what you will not accept, is an indication, or is symbolic, or is a mirroring of your self-worth and your connection to self. So relationships teach us about who we are and what our needs are in relationships and what our preferences are, and to not succumb to the status quo, to not succumb to something that is not worthy of our attention and our intention and our presence. Tara says, I believe if we meet the wrong people, it prepares us for the right people, what we tolerate and what we don't. And again, from that perspective, and I agree with you, Tara, and it's just, I mean, it's a play on words, of course, but are there any wrong people? Are there any right people? The answer is yes and no. And that's the paradox of it. But let's not get caught in that, but completely resonate with what you're saying there as well. So from that perspective, again, we're taking a long-term view. So we want to leverage failure to teach us, to help us grow, to become more comfortable versions with self. If you're just joining, people, put number 1 in the comment box. If you're new, if you're first time here on this live feed, put new in the comment box. And let me know that you're here so the community can welcome you, of course, the tribe can welcome you. But we want to leverage failure to assist us in expanding this and opening this, yeah? Opening this and expanding this works reciprocally. Failure is not so much an opportunity to be hard on ourselves. Failure is an opportunity for us to connect deeper to who we wish to be, who we're not being. Rosie, welcome. That's made me happy to see you here. So failure in this case allows us to expand almost infinitely if we wish to. Yeah, if we wish to. And this is the premise here. The intention behind all of this is so deeply necessary. So I promised you in the live feed that, or in the description, that I'll give you some tools. We've touched on some of those tools already, but I want to provide you with some tools that can help you. And remember, when we're teaching, we're learning, we're teaching, we're growing together here. So this reinforces this in me, because I'm very, very far from perfecting this area of my life. There are times when I'm very hard on myself, and I have a predisposed mindset of rigidity, where, Marco, welcome, brother, how are you? Let me know how you're feeling, my friend. Predisposed rigidity around failure, and that I'm not good enough if I haven't achieved something that I've set out to achieve. But the first thing that we can do in terms of a tool, in terms of perspective switching, is take a long-term view to life, take a long-term view to our growth and development. It's not only, it is about the present moment, it is about being present in that moment and being connected fully to that moment, but taking a long-term view of experiences and how experiences interact with our consciousness, yeah? Because where we think we've failed, perhaps we haven't, and we just need to give it a little bit of time to unravel. And if we sit back and detach and become non-attached to that experience, what can generally happen is that we can gain further, deeper, broader insight into that experience. Well, Mark, I'm just on my way back home, brother. Back to Perth. I'm just at Singapore airport. And we'll catch up very soon, yeah? So the second thing is that we can look at our mindset, and we can actually approach failure as something that is of great benefit. So failure is feedback. That's a mindset switch, yeah? Some of the greatest, most innovative companies in the world, such as Google, invest billions of dollars into divisions of their company to fail effectively. So they fail forward, they fail fast, and they fail frequently. And that's a mantra. That is one of the principles, 3 principles that they live by. Fail forward, fail frequently, and fail fast. They don't view failure. These are multi-billion-dollar companies that do not view failure. Thank you, Mary. Thanks, Margot. They don't view failure as something that's negative. They view failure as something that is extremely positive and innovative. So like companies innovate their businesses and their commercial models, why don't we innovate our minds and our hearts with respect to failure and what failure actually is and what it can do for us and the fruits that it can bear for us? Yeah. So that mindset shift is really important. That perspective, that failure is feedback. Super important. Be inclusive in our experiences, in our perceptions of the world. So in other words, don't exclude experiences that hurt us or that are negative. And this is linked into that wholeness, that fragmentation of self, yeah? Be inclusive with experiences that actually hurt us or cause us pain or discomfort, or be discerning. Be discerning with experiences. And when I say be inclusive, is don't negate them just because they've hurt us or they've caused us pain. Look at the source of that pain. Look at how that pain can serve us and how it can make us more evolved beings, how we can grow from that pain, yeah? That's what's important. And Tara says, failures are amplified within us if we judge ourselves. Completely agree. The harsher we are, we have a harsh inner voice or inner tonality with self, those failures are amplified hugely. They are compounded over time and they become us. And we then identify with failing. So when you say your name, it's synonymous with failure. And if failure is perceived to be something that is negative or bad, then guess what's going to happen? You're going to feel that way. And when we feel that way, we are going to attract more of those experiences into our lives. So sit with that for a moment. Judging yourself harshly is not going to help you shift the way you're feeling. Give me number 7 in the comment box if you can agree with that. It's very important, people, that awareness of self, that emotional intelligence around self and how we behave in relationships as well is so important. If you're judging yourself constantly, that becomes an undertone of your own personality with how you speak to self, your negative self-speak or your self-speak. That will project to others as well, yeah? So when we spoke to, thank you for the 7s, people, keep them coming if you resonate with that, awesome. When we spoke to fragmentation and wholeness, we want to encompass every experience in life. The negative experiences, the positive experiences, the ones that hurt us, the ones that don't serve us, the ones that are painful, all of them, because they have something to teach us. And if we negate them, we step into the shadow and we become fragmented by nature. And if we are fragmented, we are not whole. And being in a state of wholeness is an ideal state, an open state to being, yeah? And Tara says our inner voice has to be our own best friend. Completely agree, Tara. Completely agree. Such a powerful statement. People, give me number 8 if you can agree with that. That our inner voice has to be our own best friend. We have to be able to rely on that inner voice. We have to be able to align and resonate with that inner voice. Give me number 8 if you do. If you feel that is important, because that's a powerful starting point. Extremely powerful starting point. And through this is really important. This one here is. This is a really important tip for cultivating an attitude of power towards failure, yeah? Is that failure allows us to teach others. Failure allows us to give and be of service to others through our own experiences. Now, we learn best through direct experience. So if I have an experience of burning my hand on the fire, I know that if that experience doesn't resonate with me and it hurts me and it causes pain and I want to avoid pain, I know not to put my hand in the fire again. But we're also relational beings. We're interrelational beings and intrarelational beings. We're social beings, so we learn from each other. We also learn indirectly. So by learning from those experiences, being open to failure, being open to the perception of failure, what it may mean, or being open to not achieving what we initially set out to achieve, and then growing from that and learning from that, we are then able to pass that wisdom on to others. We are able to help others grow and become more grander versions of themselves. I've spent a lot of my life failing. And because of that, and I've paid very acute attention to those experiences, and I've moved with a very specific intention, I'm able to, it enriches our life experiences. That's what it does. It deepens and it broadens our life experience. And if we're open to that, we can be of service to others. And being of service to others is one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves, our own journey, but also the journey of others, also the path of others and the evolution of others. And give me number 9 in the comment box if you can resonate with that. If you can resonate with that, please give me number 9 in the comment box. Being of service to others is one of the grandest journeys we can take on this earth. It is a mission, it is a shared collective mission of all, to be of service to others. And in being of service to self and combining all these elements that we've spoken to about self-talk and being kind to self and self-compassion and self-empathy and loving self and mindset shifts and perspective shifts around what failure represents, we can be of service to others. And if we pay very careful attention to all of that and we move with a very deliberate intention in life, that amplifies and enhances that posturing. I want to say thank you so much for being here. I'm deeply grateful. I'm honoured that all of you are here. Please share this video if you feel there is resonance, if you feel there is value in this video and this live feed. Share this with those that you love and those that you care about. And perhaps just contemplate some of the thoughts that we've spoken to today, that we have gone into today. Some of the ideas that we've unpacked. Thank you, Chiru. Thank you everybody for being here and being present. And again, share this video if it resonates, and many blessings on your journey. I'll see you Thursday evening in a couple of days again. I'm grounded for a week or two at least, so I'll have some more regular live feeds, and of course this very much feeds my soul as well. So I'm very deeply grateful to be of service and on your journey. And of course, if you have any questions about what I do and who I am and how I can be of service to you further, please feel free to reach out. But again, many blessings. Have a beautiful evening, and remember, you're never failing. You're only growing and learning and becoming a more evolved, transmuted version of self. Much love always, people. Thank you so much.